So for my strategy, I did writing alphabet books, and the purpose of these are to organize higher order thinking. Some things that are harder for older students, it's easier to analyze it and organize it by using an alphabet book. This can typically be used during the reading process during a lesson, or you could do it after a lesson. Uh, During it would be good to work on certain words that are in the lesson that you're teaching, or after to build upon prior knowledge that they learned. So briefly describing the strategy that I'm doing, um, it they'll read carefully and they find details of the lesson that they're learning. And in this case, we're going to do plants, and we'll be reading The Tiny Seed. And when I talk to my kids, they'll have already read this book with me. So they would analyze, compare, visualize, gauge, and organize the information. And the example that I used will have already read this book, and we would talk about it. So we're going to sort of model what I would do in a classroom. And I have Annie, Ava, and Mallory, and you'll be able to hear them but not see them. So we read this book. Can anybody tell me some of the words that we found in this book, Annie? Name one word. What words were in this?
The body was eating the seed.
A seed. Seed's a good word that we can use.
Yeah, and the seed was very small, and the body couldn't see it, but the body ate it.
The bird ate the seed. Ava, can you name a word that you found in this book? What's this big thing?
A flower.
A flower. That's a good one. Just a word. Just one word that you found in the book. Mallory, do you know any words?
Fall.
Fall. So Mallory said fall, or what's another word for fall? Autumn. And then what are some of the other seasons that they talked about in this book? What's the cold one? Winter. And then right now, spring. And when it's really hot, summer. And then they talked about parts of the plant, parts of the flower. So it started as a seed, and then what did it have? What's that long part? The green part. The stem. And then it talked about the petals.
And
right?
leaves.
And leaves. So those are some of the words. So for this lesson, I would also show them a video that talks about some of these words more in detail. Another way for them to organize the information that they learned from The Tiny Seed. And we would watch this video. It's about 2 minutes long. I would show them. They've already seen it with me. And then we would have these alphabet books that we have. And this is an example one to show you. So we have on the second page, it would be our letter B. And what did this friend put on the letter B?
Bumblebee.
A bumblebee. Are bees, do they like flowers?
Yes.
Yeah, they like flowers. So this friend used a bumblebee to put on the B page.
And that was
because bumblebee starts with what letter?
B.
B. Perfect. So
And
what could you put on F?
Fish.
Fish, but what about it with our book? We're talking about our book. Some words that you... Flower, that's a good one. Flower. What about another F one? Mallory named one a few minutes ago. It starts with F.
Fall.
Fall. So you could put fall on your F page. So we're going to go through all of these, and you're going to write some of the words that we found in The Tiny Seed, and you're going to put them in your book. Do you think you can do that?
Yeah.
And then we'll share them all together?
And fish.
Well, fish doesn't really have anything to do with The Tiny Seed.
Even
So fall, they talked about fall. They talked about flowers. You could do a seed. You could write about winter, and you're going to draw a picture for each of the ones. So like the bee, they made a bumblebee, right? So for winter, you could draw a snowman. Or you can draw a stem of a flower and put an arrow and point to it. And what letter would stem go under? Stem.
S.
Good job. So for kindergarten, this would really help with also recognizing sounds, letter sounds, as well as the content. So they're learning science and they're also working on literacy. They would recognize that some of the words that they're saying start with certain letters. They're kind of connecting the two. And then they're also understanding what a stem is, what a seed is, what a flower petal is, and all the different purposes of these. And then what kind of happens during the seasons. So they're connecting their phonics knowledge with the science literature. And that is all for the strategy.